I never believed in love at first sight. It sounded like something out of a novel, too perfect, too impossible. But the moment I saw her, standing at the bookstore's poetry aisle, tracing the edges of a worn-out Neruda collection, I knew. I knew my life had just split into two, before her and after. She looked up, her dark eyes meeting mine, a question lingering in them. "You ever read this?" she asked, holding up the book. I smiled. "Only 100 times." She laughed, a sound so soft yet so consuming, like the first notes of a song you never want to end. And just like that, I was lost. We spent hours that day, two strangers trapped in a bookstore, talking about poems, love, and the way words could touch your soul. When we finally stepped outside, the sun had set, and the air was thick with the kind of anticipation that only comes when something extraordinary is beginning. Her name was Lila. And from that moment, she became my favorite story. Our love was a series of stolen moments, rainy afternoons in coffee shops, midnight calls filled with whispered dreams, long walks where our hands found each other's like they belonged. She made me believe in poetry, not just the kind you read, but the kind you live. But love is never just poetry. Sometimes, it's cruel prose, sharp and unforgiving. Lila had a secret. One she kept tucked behind her laughter, behind the way she kissed me like she was memorizing me. She was sick. She told me on a Sunday, the sky washed in gold, her fingers trembling in mine. "I didn't want to waste a single second not loving you," she whispered. I held her. I told her love was never a waste. And I swore I would love her through it all. We fought for time. We fought for every sunrise, every shared breath, every heartbeat that echoed between us. And even as her body grew weaker, her spirit never did. She loved fiercely, laughed loudly, and kissed me like she was painting eternity on my lips. Then, one day, the world went quiet. She was gone. But love, real love, it never leaves. It lingers in the spaces they touched, in the words they spoke, in the memories they carved into your soul. So, every Sunday, I go back to that bookstore. I find the poetry aisle. I trace the spine of that same Neruda collection. And I hear her voice in the whisper of pages turning. Some love stories don't end. They just change form, becoming the whispers in the wind, the echoes in our hearts, the poetry that never fades. And Lila, she will always be my favorite poem.